All right, hi, my name's Erin Cady, and I'm a sophomore at Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa. To lead is to serve. I first heard this term when I was a junior in high school during an interview for a leadership position. I was asked to describe what it meant or to give an explanation for to lead is to serve. And so I stopped for a minute and I thought about it and I gave it some serious thought, and for some reason I couldn't come up with a clear definition of what it meant. It doesn't seem like it'd be that difficult to define, but in the moment I just couldn't come up with a clear definition. So as years went by, I continued to revisit this topic with friends, and I continued to try to think of a way I could define to lead is to serve. And by the end of high school, I finally came up with an explanation. By being who you are, and by embodying a certain way of life, you instill in other people those same values, and allow them to go forward and be leaders for other people. So that was it. I finally came up with my definition. I had leadership positions, and I was a leader, and I was making change, and that was it. Until I got to college. Strong leadership positions I had once had disappeared, and I was left with the task of redefining myself. And for a while, I really struggled with this because I didn't know how to insert myself into certain positions, and I struggled with a little bit of an identity crisis. So when Project Green Challenge came around, I decided I was going to fully invest myself in it, and I was going to put everything I had into this. So first day came along, and I completed the Green and the Greener Challenge for Footprint, and I was getting ready to do the greenest, and I panicked. We were supposed to create an intro video with some sort of creative outlet, and I didn't think I could sing or write a poem or do something, so I got scared, and I backed out. I went to bed that night, and I woke up the next morning and realized that I had let fear and uncertainty get the best of me. And so I had to ask myself, was I going to let my month be defined by fear, or was I going to push forward? I once heard a quote that goes, "The sea is really only drops of water that have come together." And I decided that it was my turn to make a contribution. So as challenges began to unfold, I started to find my groove with everything. I was learning about DIY and safe beauty and body products. I was learning about pollination, zero waste, floss and food. I met with my professors to learn about energy at my school. I met with leaders to learn about flossing in my communities. And I got a chance to see how many people really care about these things and that it wasn't just me. And I was expanding my education. And as all of these things started to unfold, they started to affect the people around me too. Before that, I saw that all of my products started changing. I was eating organic, using safe bath and body products, and I was learning so much, and then is when it started to affect other people. My roommates were my biggest supporters throughout the entire process, and they come to tell me now how whenever they go shopping, they think of me so that they know that I'll be proud. On the right, a freshman, Julie, reached out to me. She sent me an email saying that she had heard that I was trying to create some change on campus. She heard that I was trying to get Meatless Monday to come into fruition, and she saw that I wanted to change my convenience store to be organic. And so she reached out, and she was so excited, and she said, "I want to be a part of this, and I want to be a part of this change." So she grabbed her friend Lindsay, and we created a task force, and we're now in talks with our school nutritionists. We started a petition, and we're getting people excited, and we're meeting with leaders, and we're meeting with community leaders, and we're getting these changes to happen. And we're now meeting with different clubs, such as our environmental club, and we're reaching out to different organizations to try to get these changes and get more organic on campus. I'm also meeting with the facilities manager to try to plant more native plants on my campus, as well as enacting other changes just with my friends and in my community and my family. So once again, here I was. I thought that I was a leader. To lead is to serve. I was changing myself, and I was setting an example, and it was helping other people. And I was finally the leader that I wanted to be again. But like most things, life threw a curveball, and I had one key moment in my PGC experience that redefined the way I saw everything. During the non-GMO snack break challenge, I had sent out a message to all of my service fraternity saying that I wanted to host a non-GMO snack party. I was excited. I got my snacks together. I got my camera, and I sat down at 2 p.m. in a study room, and I waited for people to come in. And I waited, And I waited, and nobody came. After about 45 minutes, I started to gather my things again, and I felt really defeated that no one decided they wanted to come. And as I was about to walk out, I heard the door open behind me, and I swung around. I was so excited someone finally showed up. And it was just a random guy who accidentally left his backpack in the room. And so I started to gather my things again. And as he was walking out, he turns around and he goes, "So what's all this?" And I said, "Oh, I was going to host a non-GMO snack party, but none of my friends showed up." And he stopped for a minute. He gave a slight nod. And then he walked over, pulled out a chair, sat down, kicked up his feet, grabbed a snack, and go, "Okay, teach me about GMOs." And so we sat for 20 minutes, this random stranger, and we shared food and we shared conversation. We watched a movie, and he listened to me, and he was so kind. He didn't have to do that, but he reached out, and he sat, and he let me be a leader. And it was after that that my definition of to lead is to serve changed. This is how I used to see to lead is to serve, just an arrow. The leader serves someone else because of who they are. But after this moment, that changed. Now I saw it like this. Because that guy gave me the chance to be a leader. He gave me permission to be a leader. If I didn't have him, I would have never had that chance. I was just an empty vessel with information. But because of him, he was the one serving me. Because he gave me the opportunity to lead. It was after this I realized that leaders and people being served need each other. We serve each other. We lead each other because we give each other permission to do the work we need to do to make change. And so I have a new definition of to lead is to serve now. By being who you are and by embodying a certain way of life, you instill in other people those same values and allow them to go forward and be leaders for other people. And their success then serves you because it gives you the courage and passion to keep going. You can blow out a candle, but you can't blow out a fire. And once the flames begin to catch, the wind will blow it higher. PGC has ignited a flame in me and a fire in me for sustainability and for serving my community. And that fire will connect with someone else's fire and with someone else's and back with me. And our fire will continue to grow so large that it could never be extinguished. My fire has been ignited with the people here, with the people in my community, and it will continue to grow. And then it's just up to the wind to where it takes us. Thank you.